Hey guys, welcome to Juni's Corner, um, where every week we talk about a different subject, have a different conversation, and sort of go on from here. Um, I wanted to restart my channel and actually do something that I felt, um, you know, good with, and I've been trying to figure out my creative juices. I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to do my YouTube channel for many, many, many years now, and I think my anxiety kept holding me back, which is why I never did it. And then I also wanted to start a podcast. So this is sort of me just trying to do both and figure everything out. And I think that's sort of what a lot of this ongoing conversation is going to be about. Just mental health, figuring us out, um, you know, like trying to just ponder on some thoughts while my cat is here. Oh my god. None of this is going to be incredibly scripted. This is just going to have like a sort of a subject and just allow that to grow and progress. Of course, if you do like this content or if you do like these conversations that we're having, please feel free to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so that you can get an update on this every week. I will try to upload a video every Tuesday. So, fingers crossed that I actually stick to this time. What I really wanted to talk about right now was end of the year, especially 2020 end of the year. Ooh, I think a lot of people have been going through a lot this year, and it's been kind of rough, and I think I've been feeling it a lot as well, mostly because I felt last year going into 2020 that I was really going to be making a lot more progress within my life. I felt like I was going to be going a lot more places in terms of like my professional career. I did accomplish a lot. I'm saying all of this and I'm not trying to devalue or diminish everything that I have accomplished. But it is sort of, how do I explain this? It's kind of hard to not beat yourself up about it, but it's super understandable if you do end up feeling defeated, and that's okay. But what I'm trying to basically tell myself is that I survived. I survived this whole year, and honestly, that's okay with me. And I have basically decided that I'm not going to make any sort of New Year's resolutions for 2021 because I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'll feel like I'm failing. So let's say that I make a resolution for 2021 and then like something horrible happens or I'm not able to push forward. Next year, like 2022 shows up and I'm like, damn, like I wasted this year. So I've been trying to avoid that. And I think a lot of people are like, well, this pandemic happened, but look at all the stuff that I accomplished. And I think that's a beautiful way of seeing things. But I think it's also okay to tell yourself, hey, I didn't accomplish anything during the pandemic, but I survived. And I think that's the biggest accomplishment that you can do. If you struggled with depression and you made it through the whole pandemic without self-harming or relapsing, I'm proud of you. If you relapsed or self-harmed anyway and you survived, I'm still proud of you. And I'm mostly just saying this. I am saying this obviously to anyone that's listening, but also I'm also telling this to myself, of course, because it's crazy. And sorry, that's not the proper verbiage, but it is wild. It's buck wild to think about um, how how much pressure we put on these kinds of like accomplishments, like quote unquote accomplishments that we're supposed to have by a certain amount of time. Like I recently turned 22, and I sort of just realized, damn, I'm 22 and I'm I feel so far behind. I'm just now starting to like think about going back to school, even though because I didn't go to like college or anything. So I just I feel like I'm kind of behind, but a lot of that is because I keep comparing myself to my parents, and I think a lot of people tend to do that, and that's super valid, except it can be kind of harmful and toxic if you keep doing that. So that's what I've sort of been trying to stray away from, because at the end of the day, a lot of our parents were put into situations that they had to age a lot more rapidly than us. So in your if you're in your 20s and you're like, "Oh, well, you know, my parents at my age, they moved to another country. They had like their own place to live, and like they already had two children." Um like Yeah, they did, but that doesn't mean that that's what you have to do. Just if you're not there, that doesn't mean you're behind. That just means that you're you're in your step of life. A lot of our parents that struggled with this kind of thing had to struggle a little bit harder just so that we could have an easier life. And I think the misconception amongst the younger generations is that, oh, we kind of have it easy. But isn't that the point? Isn't it the point that we don't struggle as much? You know, like when I was growing up, I didn't really have that much queer representation, but or Latinx representation for the matter. But now when I see like my younger cousins or my younger friends, like when I see them, and like they're talking about like this queer character or that queer character, these gay shows that are showing up for children that are meant for children. It's like they have so much representation, and I'm like, oh well, back in my day we didn't have that. Like no, like they have that now, and I think that's a good thing because why would I feel salty that I didn't have that as a kid and they get to have it when the whole point is that we're making it more accessible as the years passed along? And that's I think that's sort of been the whole thought process in my head about this whole thing. Um, I don't know. This has sort of been a kind of um, a lot to unravel, and I might make uh, a longer I might make a longer episode on this, and sort of break down these things. But of course, overall, I would say that my thoughts on this whole situation about letting your like or not letting yeah letting your parents sort of like set the path or set the timeline for what you are kind of just puts you in a really harmful and negative place because it hinders you more than you think it does. So while I think it's a great thing to be inspired by your parents and to feel comfort by them and to take ideas from them and to, you know, want to be a little bit more like them, I think striving to follow within their exact footsteps will just lead to disappointment because there's just no realistic way for you to do that. Even if your parents were really successful, uh, like it the way that the world works right now, unfortunately, it just isn't it's not realistic, especially for the lower and middle class. And even with the upper class, let's be quite honest, you can't really be like your parents, because a lot of the upper class now, they are they're old money. They they don't they've had that money. They were born into inheritance, which, when they were younger, when their parents, like, and their ancestors or whatever the fudge, they, through X or Y means, which I don't want to get into, they got into that inheritance and therefore got new money, for the most part. But now it's like, okay, well, you can't really, if you were born into inheritance, you can't really make new money. You can't do that. You will always just be under the shadows of your parents. Um, and yeah, but that specific topic about like upper class privilege and all of that, that's like a whole ass topic. Um, Pardon my language. But yeah, I think that's sort of where my thoughts are on this. I do want to keep this short since this is my first episode. Um, but yeah, if anyone's listening, just please feel free to leave some comments down below, and let me know what you guys think about this. If you would like to hear more thoughts on anything that I mentioned. And of course, make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload. I plan on uploading every single Tuesday. Thank you so much.